A magnificent day for a magnificent day if you are feeling yourself that way. This is episode 8. I love my number 8. However, we say it, speak it, see it, draw it. This is Sitting It with myself, Tracy A. Martin, a hypnotherapist practitioner here at Opening Doors Productions, and my co-host today, Dreamer Divine, who is an accountability coach here at Opening Doors Productions as well. How would you like to introduce yourself, Dreamer Divine?
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm excited to be back on the podcast for the month of April, and I can't wait to hear all the exciting questions and inquiries that you guys have so we all can delve a little bit deeper and grow.
Awesome. Thank you, Dreamer Divine. So, we know there are a few questions on this episode this week from some of our followers or clients or people with questions and concerns, and I look forward to it. Again, there is no stupid question ever. Anything that you really, really are having trouble not being able to sit in, you don't know where to begin, and it's just weighing very heavy on your chest, there is no thing that is going to hold you back other than you. And there is no gray area where you believe that you're overstepping some form of boundary when you have a question that you're needing help to work through. So let's get started. Dreamer Divine, would you like to tell everyone the first question?
Okay, so our first question is from Sam, and Sam says, "Hi, Tracy. I have a question about a couple things weighing heavy for me these days. The loneliness is so extreme, the whole division that has been created that has torn families, friendships, work colleagues, and even neighbors apart. Where do I go from here? What would you help me to sit in to create happiness again? By the way, I trust my life to you. You have been the only one who listened and knew where to take me to break the old limited systems. I love you."
Well, thank you, Sam. And you trusted yourself. That's why you trust me. We know that it's an inside job, and inside is outside, first of all. So thank you very much, Sam, for the courage to, especially this is a very great question. It makes me quite teary-eyed because we feel it on a grand scale with so many people right now. And, the first part of your question there, the loneliness that isn't part of the separation. We know loneliness is a state of mindset that we get into, and it's really us detached away or feeling separated from self first. And Sam, as I know that you've had some beautiful discoveries here when you come here and you realize that the validation that you were always looking for in others, or the camaraderie or the relatability that is what's happening on this whole world plane right now. Why people are feeling so alone is because they had been trapped in these broken mind traps for so long to look outside of ourselves continually for our happiness, and that we needed someone instead of ourselves so that we didn't feel lonely. And first, I want to take everyone to the two different places of what is lonely and what is alone. So, I think what's really happening on many levels for many people first is feeling alone. And that's because, the unit you believed you had with certain friendships, the unit you had in the family, the unit you believed you had even with work colleagues, the unit you've had with everything outside of yourself, even like we've seen many, many husbands and wives being on opposite ends of the scale of what's been going on through this whole scamdemic. And so when you understand that what alone really is what people have been feeling, and you have had to, for the first time, quit lying to yourself about who you believed others were to you. Instead of, that is just where they are. We know that the real definition or the defining moment in any person's life that I take as gold is, how does someone deal or not deal with some form of problem thrown at them? Because this is where they either go to fear or they work through it through love. And fight, flight, or freeze has been embedded in for centuries upon centuries in the mental and emotional planes. And so fear, which is not real, it is just frequencies of dark negative energies that people started believing in fear. And we know that the moment you perceive it, you can believe it, and the moment you believe it, then it becomes. And so what we're seeing right now, like they had told us for years before this was going to go down, that there would be a definite line in the sand. And that's where you are right now, Sam, and every one of our listeners or viewers right now. You know that every one of you have been affected by the division, the feeling of separation, because they know divide and conquer has always been a dark agenda, because unity as a consciousness is not able to be penetrated. And why are some of you awake and some of you not? And it's through choice, some of it. The moment you are playing in your heart, it cannot be hypnotized. Only the mind can be hypnotized heavily. And in one minute second or moment that you fall into that trap, that's where it starts to become more and more. And that reactionary response takes you away from the observer you are, observing what's going on, so that you can feel, see, taste, get the tangibility, that which we again use for critical thinking, that most people have been trained and ingrained not to. And then you see someone reaction. And right now, because of the intense amount of psychological warfare that has happened, and the way that society was completely dummied down so that no one can handle one bit of disruption. They brought in that victim mentality on purpose so that you cannot be the victor. And so you see many, many men that are actually boys instead of real men, because they have been taught not to cope. And almost every person that I run into that have never wanted to know the truth, that are just trying to keep those blinders on, la 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 la, don't want to know, don't want to know, don't want to know, but I just want it to be over. I don't care what I have to do, I just want it to be over. And that's reaction, that's fight, flight, or freeze. The true heart, only in the heart, is when you're connected to the higher mind. We know that is when you're able to make that cognitive choice instead of being constantly in cognitive dissonance. And so, Sam, to be able to move you out of loneliness, because that's a feeling, instead of seeing that you are alone. And so let's get you deeper, Sam. That loneliness that you're feeling is because you've never fully ever loved you. You could be anywhere in the world all by yourself and not feel lonely. The fact that you believed that you needed your friends to not feel lonely, you needed your family to not feel lonely, that you needed anything that you have written down in that question, that loneliness that you are feeling is you being separated from none other than you. And so the greatest thing I would love for you to sit in, if it feels like you're ready, and it can be very uncomfortable when you're not used to seeing yourself and giving yourself the time of day, because number one, for the longest time in the mental emotional plane, you've been taught that everyone else is more important than you. So now you feel disconnected from the people you thought were the most important to you, and you have forgotten all about you. How do you tick? How do you tick those marks on your box of who you are and what you want that makes you feel good? And have you ever been able to fulfill all those little ticks on the boxes to you? No, because you continually projected outside of yourself for someone else to bring that to you. And why do we feel connected to friends or have bonds with colleagues of any kind, neighbors, whoever? And it's because there was something that brought you in some form of a magnetic connection. The lies that people are understanding now is that not one person, not one ever, will ever think the same way as you. And that's what makes it colorful. Some that do not know how to cope, don't want to cope, just want to be told what to do, want to stay ignorant to it. And then there are those who are awakening on, and awakening you will always. You will never be awake. You will, or you are infinite creation itself. And so during the awakening and the levels of it, you're going to see many people that are in different stages because of where they are sitting in right now. And the loneliness for you to sit in is why you're choosing to keep focusing on being lonely. We can only choose loneliness. But what can make you feel better today if you're feeling so very lonely right now, feeling that you don't have anyone to reach out to? Sam, it's starting to allow other like-minded into your life. There are many of you right now that feel like you're in this alone because you feel on purpose, they did this on purpose, that those who are awake, that they wanted to shut up and throw away so that they couldn't awaken any more masses. And the mass projection that they have done through all the false media, all of that severe distortion in order to remain the handlers and keeping people asleep to the negative timeline is what's happening. So do you want any part of that? Do you want any part of anyone speaking lies? Do you want any part of anyone speaking false light information? No. Your heart doesn't feel good when it knows that there's a lie and deceit, deception, and manipulation. Is there anything you can do? We know that when you start awakening, you want to save everyone. And those who are the mindset that know that love is, we want everyone to be awake, whole, and free. And that's the greatest boundary health-wise that you can do is just wish everyone that is no longer in your life to be whole, safe, and free. And awake, whole, and free, or whatever you feel inside your heart that you want to project to them, or cocoon them with love and light, love, knowing it knows exactly what to do for them. And it gets you out of the way. But Sam, let's get you first in that cocoon of that full love, light life, love for you. So, and it knows exactly what to do for you so that instead of feeling lonely, you can start tipping the scale back into feeling maybe nothing. And many people right now, as you start letting go of all of the illusions, because boy, are you seeing how many illusions that have kept you and have kept you asleep at one time. And there was something that happened in your life that gave you that moment of, something's not right here. And you went for it. And I want to congratulate Sam. I want to congratulate every one of you that started listening through your heart that something just wasn't right. And you bet most people who are believing that they are lonely right now are actually feeling the no thing. And what I mean by that is when you're feeling the nothing, You don't have any memory bank or recall to go to remember a moment of it. And in the no thing is when the brand new thing is about to be created. And we know that as we start letting go of what we no longer want, it's kind of like erasing it and having the brand new whiteboard of what do I want to create now. And in that place becomes a place of like a no thing. So you're feeling nothing. You don't know what it is. And many people become scared because they don't know where they're going. And many people become very excited. And then there's the play and the paradox in between. And so for you to sit really into the loneliness, Sam, to see if you really feel lonely, or are you feeling sad? Are you feeling unsure? Are you feeling loss? Are you feeling numb? And many people that I've had in the chair lately that has been suicidal, just don't know where to go. They want it to end and go away, and they don't want to play in it anymore. And this is real. This is reality, and this is happening. Some of you are having moments of it. Some of you are having a lot of moments in it. I love you, and absolutely reach out to someone if you are feeling these things so that they can help embrace you and support you. People won't support you and hold you up unless you're asking for it. And another one of the big broken mind traps in this, Sam, as you know, is the fact that you believe you have to do it all yourself. And that's an old program, so that, again, more separation happens. So when you think of a king, or you think of a queen, and you think of them looking over their kingdom and queendoms, do they do it alone? Or do they have an entourage of supporters? Whether it's their knights, their, any kind of form of whatever label you would give to it, that are your guides, that are your friends, that are colleagues, like mind, wanting to fulfill the mission of this beautiful kingdom and this queendom and whatever it is. You're, as a king and a queen, you never do things alone. You do it as a collective, and that's what a leader is compared to a ruler. And that is where people are starting to be headed. And the moment, Sam, that you open up and you allow yourself, instead of being in the place of being hurt, which is, I believe, really where you are more, where your feelings feel hurt and you don't feel loved, is to become open to allowing the real love, which is the same frequency that you are in this awakening moment, so that you can start creating brand new, real friendships that are based through love, not an idea of who you needed to be for them or them for you. And so I hope that part helps you to really sit in so that you can really find, is this tangibly, are you really lonely? Or is it really you've just been alone, felt alone? And the moment we start writing on the box what we want, what is it that I need that will make me feel less lonely or more satisfied or happy, or to start experiencing joy again, it's all in you, Sam. So I love you. You know that I'm a phone call away, a text message, or, like many of you do, you get a hold of me on Messenger, on the Facebook app. And that is usually the only reason I check Messenger, is because of all the clients that I've helped all over the world, because of the beautiful platforms, so that you don't have to feel so alone. So, Dreamer Divine, can you speak the question again, just so that I get everything fulfilled for Sam?
So you answered the first part about the loneliness, and then the second part was just, where do I go from here, and what would you help me sit in to create happiness again?
So like we said in that last part there, when we know it's up to us to start doing this by being able to go in and start filling out what is it you need, write it down, and are you and have you ever been that to you? Or did you always depend on everyone else again to do that for you? Do you believe you need to have communication with another person to feel happy? Or can you start communicating with yourself? Do you love singing? Sam, I know you love to sing. And why don't you start singing again? What part of the creator in you, because we know the moment we're in creator mode, instead of in consumed by mode, we feel joy because we're here to be creators. So, is there a beautiful dessert you would love to create? Is there some seeds that you would like to plant because you like to garden? Is there going to a place like Michael's or an art shop and grabbing a white canvas and starting with charcoal or some paints or some colors or coloring books? Adult coloring is amazing because it takes you into the expression because you're playing with color. And that color energy, those frequencies are grounding you. So it's up to you always in every brand new moment, which is in every brand new breath, of where you're feeling or wanting to focus in on. And we know that the only way to pull us out of that ball rolling forward is to slow it down back to still point, get it rolling another way backwards into the positive, which is the infinite creation mode. And the easiest thing to do is just start doing something. Get yourself out of that funk by just get up and do something. There's not one thing you have to do, but you can get your shoes on, you can go outside and just go for a walk, and you will ground so fast. And when you can stop focusing in the clouds you believe that's over and around your head and start actually looking at the beautiful birds right now, this beautiful brand new earth showing our brand new spring. And you don't even have to say one word. You don't even have to. You just need to listen and be in the moment, hearing all the Canada geese coming back and the birds that are so happy and the melt that you're hearing and all the life around you. Any of it can instantly start to make you feel happy. So I love you, Sam. I hope that helps not only Sam, but absolutely everybody involved today. And so, Dreamer Divine, what is your next question for the audience?
First, I'd just like to thank Sam for sending in his question and know that, Sam, you are amazing. And the fact that you put yourself out there to put that question out there means that you're ready to take the next steps, to be the person that you are meant to be. And that, yes, we are our own creators and we get to create our own reality. And I believe that you have a beautiful, beautiful future ahead of you. So the second question is from Carrie, and Carrie says, "Oh my God, the symptoms that I am experiencing that you posted on Ascension Symptoms, I have been experiencing for so long. I used to go to the doctor with them, and every time they couldn't find anything. It wasn't until I had a session with you that I found out why. How can I make them go away? Seriously, I want to be put in a coma and wakened when this shit show is over."
Carrie, I love you. I believe many people share your sentiment. I've actually seen a lot of people comment that they really do. They want to be put into some kind of coma-like state, and I will absolutely say without a shadow of a doubt throughout this whole awakening from while I've been here my whole life, I used to, especially when it was winter, I would honestly say, why don't I get to be one of those beautiful mammals that gets to hibernate and just wake up in the spring and go, oh, this was just awesome. I had such a great sleep. And what did I miss? Oh yeah, nothing. And yet you missed out on everything. And so, Carrie, thank you. So many people are asking. There's many people that have been experiencing for some time, and have either they fully understand ascension symptoms as far as they go to. Many of us know it's continual and gets more intense, and have kind of ebb and flow, but we know it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger until the point of compression breakthrough. And what is compression to you? It's an impacting and impacting and impacting. Carrie, we know that we're turning from a carbon-based body to a crystalline body or a silicon body. And when you think of what does carbon do to make a diamond? So this is the deep impact many people are feeling, and that the resistance needs to implode upon itself to actually become that beautiful bloom. We're going to use the same analogy as a seed. You plant the seed in the ground. That seed has such a deep impaction that it actually at that point cracks for that new growth to come through. It's being watered, it's being nurtured. You feel in the dark and you don't even know it. And the difference between you right now, who's been kept in the veil of illusion, and a seed knows it's not one by itself, but it's the whole that is growing the all. So those ascension symptoms, some of you are going to have way more intense. Some of you are going to be blissed right out because of where you're vibing in that moment. And to then a day later take it on. Your animals are every inhabitant on this beautiful blue orb is feeling these symptoms, and they're coming as solar flares that you may see with the eye through our sun, which is actually coming through the galactic central sun as the portal that our sun is to us. And they're just going to keep ramping up and ramping up. We've been going through these for years, but now there is no lying to yourself anymore that something's going on. Many of you, like I've said, when people said to me, oh my God, I was having heart palpitations, Tracy, am I having a heart attack? And I'll say to each and every one of you, if you believe you need to go somewhere, go somewhere. But the likeliness of most of it is they're not able to find anything. And this is what's been happening with many, many people through these ascension symptoms. But this is our play in the paradox. And this is where many people are feeling confused, because flu-like symptoms are some of the ascension symptoms you are experiencing. So let's take this deeper to understand both playouts that's playing right now. When we understand on a duality plane, there is this force of white light, this force of the darkness. Or, so that some people understand it that way, we see a positive energy and a negative energy, which is the conductor of that electromagnetic field of flow in duality. And that is where we see the spinning of the electron clockwise, and we see the spinning of the electron going counterclockwise because of distortion. So right now in this play field, while we are ending the 3D illusion of this distortion, and will be gone the spinning of the false or distorted light electron, that's where we're seeing all this go on. So we have 5D energies coming in that are helping lift us into the fifth dimension or fourth density plane of existence. And we have 5G that was put out all over this world on purpose, because those are counteractive energies again. Both of them have radiation. So we know that our sun, those rays that come off the sun that come into our field, have levels of what are radiation. There is a healthy spectrum of radiation. There is a distorted radiation. And these are the two that many of you are playing in. And because of your level of vibe, where you're playing in that frequency, it's whether you can let the lower frequencies become dissolved, because full love, light, love that you are, is very expansive, emanating, flowing, and nothing can come into that realm because it dissipates before it can even get there. So are we having flu-like symptoms because of 5D? Are we having flu-like symptoms because of 5G radiation? This is the plight that everybody's playing in. So let this part of it get out of your way. No matter what are you feeling? If this is what you're feeling, what do you need to do? The first thing that many people don't understand is that the moment you have an energy coming in, it's different. And it takes a bit for most people to realize, oh, this is an energy talking to me. This energy, the moment you allow it to ground through you, is when you can have contact. So whenever I'm going into channel, and it took me a few years to be able to handle energies coming in, no different than anyone that has clairsentience, because you're feeling someone else's energy talking to you. And most of you started feeling anxious or nervous or overwhelmed. And that is why they made everyone believe in the 3D plane that you had anxiety. And I will tell you that was the biggest broken mind trap lie, instead of feeling what you are actually feeling. Many of you, because you are clairsentient and you can feel that, it became scary to you instead of realizing it was just you observing the energy and what it felt like. Many of you who become empaths that are medical intuitives, it's because they are able to let someone's energy speak to you and tell you what's going on. Many of us will feel in our body of what's going on with someone else, and then you're able to say to them, or that their energy is speaking to you about someone that they love, because you keep everyone that you love within your energy field. And that's why it'll come through to the intuit that can tell you there's someone in your life, this is going on, and you can have an idea of the energy in that, or you'll even know a person's name specific because of that. It's the in that need to integrate through you. The first thing most of you do is you go into resistance, because the one thing that it can't do is heal you, but it's going to bring up to you that which you believed you needed to own so it can finally release. And only through that, when you allow yourself to become that channel, that vessel, just allow it to go through by grounding, or drinking lots of water, or laying in water, or even allowing yourself to be in the constant flow in a shower, whatever it is, it helps ground you and helps flow through you so that it goes all the way through to the center of Gaia and is able to move and upload into all inhabitants. That's what the ascension process is all about. And these energies coming in and changing all of our planes of existence is what's happening right now. It's a big deal. Compression breakthrough is that deep impact to finally break through. So I hope that this is what helps you understand it a bit more of what's going on. And whatever you feel guided, what feels right for you is what I would love for you to do. It's going to be different for each and every one of us. If you don't know where to start, like I said, getting into breathing, slowing everything down so that you can get in contact with the observer, the witness, to really have an overview of what's going on. In that state of calm, which I will tell you, the number one superpower in the world is calm. Because in that centered moment of calm, you feel the groundedness, which is first chakra stuff. And nothing else happens for you unless you have that security, which is your ground, or you feeling secure. And you can only ever feel secure through you. There is no sense of security outside of yourself. But you will totally be electrically or magnetically attracted to people who naturally feel grounded, because that's why people feel so good. No different than when you go by a tree, why you feel so grounded, because they are the deep roots. They just are. No different than people who are naturally used to just being very calm. Everyone's guided to them because it feels good. And what most people will really become confused in, because most people so badly want to be in the seventh chakra when you're learning about chakras or seals or dimensions or frequencies, and they believe that you need to be this high frequency. But when you understand what grounded is, that is where that original came from. And you'll see like didgeridoos, you will see sound, and it is a deep, low, beautiful resonance. And only with that base can that become the scale for everything else to play in. Otherwise, it becomes flighty. And as you are raising your awareness inside you, in that stability or that secure or grounded, calm root, then everything starts to flow easily, very much easily. Many of you have seen that as you were, that you were spiritually guided and you're watching other people talking and you were turned off from it because of how flighty they were, and they weren't able to you couldn't feel that place of calmness with them, that they were just so over energized that you became overstimulated. And that's why you'll take what you need and leave the rest behind. And it doesn't matter with anyone. You're going to take what you need and leave the rest behind. But there has to be that root base starting. No different than that seed that first starts. It starts a root and then begins to grow. So drink your water. Drink as much water as possible. And again, yes, there's many distortions in this community that tell you need to be drinking distilled water. And I'm going to tell you that's another lie of the distorted light. If everything whole had everything pulled from it, would it be whole anymore? No. Water's natural state is salt water, mineralized water. When everything has been pulled from it, whatever that distilled water comes in contact with, it will pull everything it needs because it knows what it needs to be whole. No different than when you're around a person and they are speaking from an empty cup and they're trying to take everything they can from you because they're in desperation. They're in survival mode. This is this whole society right now. People who are living in desperation. Why are there thieves? Why are there others stealing from others? Because they are in a desperate place to become whole again. And this is what's been happening on all this plane. Distilled water does that. Why is alkaline water the true whole water? Because whole water is alkaline, because it is full, it's whole, it's mineralized, which is its crystalline base. No different than every cell in your body. Every cell in your body is a crystalline base. That is your God particle in every cell. And so drink as much water as you can. The more that you are full of water, you become easier in the flow. And then it's easier for energies to flow through you. We know iodine is a very important part because iodine had they tried to eradicate it out of people's systems on purpose. Iodine counteracts radiation. Enough said. So if you want to start somewhere, start researching into iodine deficiency and why so many people have thyroid issues now, and why the thyroid is so very important. So then you'll understand always why the distorted light tries to go after the major points to get them out of the way so that all other deficiencies can happen from there. So being able to breathe, do something that makes you feel good. Sometimes when I'm experiencing some of those symptoms, the art of nothing helps. But for the most part, what's helped for me, because I know I am energy and I feel the greatest when I am moving. And I feel absolutely the greatest outside, and in seconds, it takes me seconds, where the moment I am outside, instantly, I am fully connected as the nature that I am. And so some people get into reading. Some people, I've talked about how they just sat and they ended up watching movies that made them feel good, or comedies, or something that made them laugh, but it's doing something that makes you feel good, right? It's amazing what happens when you have sex with someone that you love, because that helps ground you and center you and allows things to flow through you as well. Dreamer Divine, what do you find that you have been doing through all of these ascension symptoms? And feel free to tell people the type of symptoms that you've been experiencing and what you have done actively to be able to help yourself flow through them.
Yeah, Carrie, thank you for submitting that, because yes, that is what exactly a lot of us are feeling. So you're completely not alone in that, definitely. A lot of my ascension symptoms have been in my ears, a lot of definite pressure and what feels like cotton balls, or it's like a pulsing or a pressure in my ears. I've had heart palpitations, I've had racing heart, I've had heart pains, I've had headaches, almost to the point of migraines again that I haven't had for years and years and years. And what my biggest thing that helps is breathing, deep breathing, where I close my eyes and just center and focus, and then just surround myself with the beautiful white light, and also definitely being in nature. I'm definitely a nature child. So just going for a walk, taking my dog for a walk, because there's no more absolute pure love than from an animal, because they only know unconditional love. So when you feel that love from them, when they're happy, and you take them for a walk and you're out in nature and it's their favorite place to be, and you just feel, and it just does a full 180 of back to you and back to nature, and it's just beautiful. And so I definitely ground myself that way. And yeah, just breathing and drinking lots of water. And for me also is listening to my body. If you're feeling exhausted, try to find some time to just rest. And if you need to take a nap, whether it's a 10-minute nap or a 15-minute nap, definitely just listen to your body and what it needs. And it will tell you, it knows what to do to help you feel better and heal itself 100%. So yes, Carrie, thank you very much for sharing that, because you are not alone. That's for sure.
Thank you so much, Dreamer Divine. Um, we're all in this shift together, but we are all having individual experiences. One thing that is really coming up right now as well is a lot of people trapped in the egoic part of them, believing that they shouldn't be having ascension symptoms because they are already 5D. And I'm going to laugh with you, not at you, but with you, because the heart knows if you're not experiencing these symptoms, you're lying to yourself. It doesn't matter if you believe you are awake or not awake, wherever you are there, not because you are not vibing high enough. That has nothing to do with it. This has everything to do with, so do you know that never, ever in the history of Source has a beautiful logos or a planet or a body chosen through this massive ascension process to not purge her whole plane, all of her inhabitants? Because that way, that beautiful planetary body would go into whatever purge mode, whatever mode, in order to be the brand new creator of where she's moving into in the next density phase. And many people have ascended. Every one of us that is here has ascended before. I guarantee it. That is why we're here. And it's a natural process for us. But guess what? How many people have ever ascended in the physical body? 0. That's what this plane of existence is for. The planet we call Earth, the beautiful body, Sophia, who she is, who chose to keep her inhabitants as a collective consciousness with her and the inhabitants with her in order to move into the fourth density and become from the physical into the crystalline base without losing the physical imprint is a first. And so all of us said, oh yeah, I want something new. This has been an easy thing for me. We do this. This is what we do. And then we decided, oh, would you like a challenge? Sure, I would. And all of us are like, oh my God, what have I done? The physical body knows what it needs. Your mental body knows what it needs. Your emotional body knows what it needs. Your spiritual body, the 4 lower bodies know that when you are playing together, that it will bring you that peace and be able to be in that state. So this has nothing to do with you comparing yourself to anyone, because that's a broken mind trap. This is you just being in your heart, allowing stuff to flow in and flow through you. And the biggest part of this, again, is letting it flow through you. The moment you realize these energies aren't for you to hold, you're not supposed, because you can't own anything. You can't own an emotion. You can want to buy it all you want. And it's trying the hell to get out. And that's what's happening right now. That's why many people are triggered, because you don't get to bring that baggage with you. You are going to be packing light. And I say that literally, because even your physical body is going to become lighter and brighter as you start expanding into that. If you aren't going to listen to you wholly, that is going to be what destroys you. And you go home and you have another 3rd density experience on another Earth-like planet where you will be doing your growth from there. There's no wrong answer here. But this was a brand new journey. And many of us who decide to go for it, we're going there. Many of you that decide, you know what, this is too much for me, there's nothing wrong. There's no wrong answer. It's not right. It's not wrong. It is. It just is. Because I assure you, it's going to in the next or the next, whenever you are ready of where you're going for. No matter what, you're feeling those symptoms. And let it be the reminder. Something's up here. We need to listen, because the number one thing we have to do is love ourselves. No one else can love you like you can. No one else knows you like you do. No one else can feel you like you do. No one else gets to think like you do. You are so magnificent. So get out of the plight and the hamster wheel and get into you, and know whatever feels good, do it. And keep doing it till you don't want to do it anymore. And the next time, it may be that same kind of crackling in the ears that happened, and it might be something different for you because you're in the flow there and it's ready for the next stage there. Everything's brand new all the time. So it's not going to be a one-time fix or a certain thing that works for everybody. It's going to be what works through you. Not for you, through you. This is the biggest part here, right? So some people meditate and that helps them the greatest. Some people pray. When you're praying, when you're meditating, you're connected. You're being mindful, right? Whatever it is that brings you joy, that is what you're really here to be. And the more that you are being joy, you'll find everything flowing through you. But again, I assure you, with me, the moment I realized that these energies aren't for me to hold, I asked my whole team to help them flow through me. And if you feel that you don't know how to connect to your team of guardians, guides, angels, friends, star families, and beyond of these beautiful love light beings, they're waiting. And you ask specifically, and they are there for you. They always have been. They're inside of you. They can't leave you. So do your communication and ask for help. And if you need a physical contact, reach out to someone in that moment. You know, Facebook is a great platform for that, or any kind of flat platforms, because I have beautiful friends that I have specifically on my page on purpose because they're like-minded. And the moment someone has a call out saying, cocoon me in energies, I'm needing help from all of you right now, I'm needing some love, I'm needing hugs, I'm needing whatever, do you realize the power in that? It's phenomenal. Again, you don't have to do anything alone. That is old broken mind traps that make you believe that you're in it all alone. When you realize that you have never, ever, ever been alone. And the moment you decide to connect, then how can you feel lonely when there's millions upon millions of beautiful beings of light that are there? When you understand the universes, and I'm talking mega universes, that are on with bated breath at the edge of their seats watching what's happening on this beautiful blue orb right now, and the assistance that we are having from all dimensions of amazing beings of light. And the only way they can help is through our call specifically, and the amount of servitude that is happening, and the devotion that not only we are doing, that we don't even realize we're doing, let alone everyone else watching upon us as these players. It's a beautiful, magnificent, I don't even know the words to use it. It's grand. And you're a player in this. So if there's one thing I can say to all of you, I would love for you to sit in the grandness of who you are. The magnificence of everything you have ever brought. You have no idea how many lives you have touched on every level, no matter how good, no matter how bad, because your past experience has never ever defined you other than the judgment you've given on you. Remember, everyone is allowed to think whatever they want of you. But what matters the most is, what do you think of you? And you are creating yourself every minute and any moment of this day. And it never gets to leave and be done again. It's done, and it's a one and done. So if you're having that place like Sam was in of loneliness, choose to not let every next focus part be in the despair of it, but be the superhero in the place of calm, because you are magnificent creators. So create grand. Create that queendom and kingdom that is impenetrable, that is so lush, that is such a paradise, that is so fulfilling, that is so abundant beyond your greatest imaginings. This is a great place to focus in and be devoted into. And boy, does this make you feel lighter and feel better. Don't you to a degree or totally agree on how you're feeling right now, Dreamer Divine? And what would you love to say to this whole audience today?
I agree. It's definitely a great feeling when you just focus on you and how much you love you, and that can just emanate out to the world. It's a beautiful feeling for sure. And I definitely would like to say that something that resonated with me to help me kind of see the bigger picture, or to go, wow, like that makes perfect sense, is that when we signed up for this experience, we got to see the whole thing from beginning to end, to how it all played out. And we still signed up for this experience. So you would never sign up for something to go through all this if you knew deep down that you couldn't do it. So 100%, it's all within you to know that you are amazing, you are a miracle, and you are the only one like you going through this experience that you signed up for, to be able to experience all of it. The good parts, the bad parts, the everything in between, to just have that experience and be grateful for it in each moment. So I think that is one of the most beautiful reminders, is to know we never would have signed up for this if we didn't think we could do it.
Thank you, Dreamer Divine. And your idea of what it is different to every individual. Whether we see an infant that was here for short breaths of time and then left and went back home, it's on purpose. Not here to hurt you, because it's nothing to do with you. It was about what little bit of grounding that person brought, or that infant knew that within its contract, it knew it wasn't going to fulfill what needed to be done. It was a karmic play out of the end of debt so that that karmic wheel can finally be completed. Your idea of what you signed up to be here in road and gold to come here in doesn't mean that you're going to be living on 5D Earth even for thousands of years. That might not be what you signed up to get to. You don't know what it is. But as long as you believe in life as the life that you are, the light that you are, you're going to remain being here on purpose. And I love you all. So get out of your way. Quit thinking so much. Quit believing you need to be serious. And know that focus and being responsible, showing up, is not serious. It's just being here in this moment right now. And that's what makes it the grand play. That's the, you go to a playground and not everybody's playing on the exact same swing, or people would be in a lineup. No, there's sandboxes. There's so many other things in this playground where you can play. So play, create, breathe, drink, eat. Let go of all the controllers that believe you have to be something, and just enjoy you. So I know that our time of our hour is coming to a close. I love you all. Please do send your question in to support@livingwholeonpurpose.com, and know that it's all in you, 100%. We can't help you. We can't save you. We can just love you. And I promise you, I am always there. Dreamer Divine, is there any last words you'd like to say to everyone today?
Just want to say, have a wonderful day, everyone, and I love you all.
Until next time, take care.